Welcome back to the channel. We got another good Tim Pool one today. Trump refuses to cave, vows to withhold food stamps until government reopens. Don't forget to smash that like button down below and get subscribed if you're not already, and we'll get right into it.
Trump vows to withhold SNAP benefits until the government is reopened. Looks like November is going to be reduced benefits. That's what they announced. But Trump doesn't want to give any more until they reopen government. I actually think the call sheet prediction for 45 days is probably wrong. To be fair,
they're probably going to keep it closed maybe till the end of the year, is what I predict. It'll be they'll be like, oh look, he shut down the government for 3 months. What a failure of an administration. And they're going to try to play the whole thing on him when every shred of evidence that if someone would just go Google and look, it would point to Democrats are leading this shutdown.
Maybe
they
I should
own the shutdown.
You know, I always talk about how maybe I should buy stock because we often have access to knowledge and stuff before people because we're reading the news all the time. But I've heard from people in government it's going to be closed till Christmas. The expectation among staff is that they're going to be furloughed till Christmas. So 1 more month of no benefits. But Democrats, now that they've
probably about 7 to 8 weeks until reopening. And then they'll be like, all right, new year, let's get back in Congress, let's get things back in session and reopen this shit.
Extracted all of the value they can out of this. They'll probably just come out, I'd imagine, right, and say, okay, sure, fine. Because what people need to understand about the government shutdown, it is the Biden continuing resolution. Mm-hmm. Republicans said, we agree to Biden's funding. And the Democrats said, nah. And Republicans like, what do you mean? This is just Biden's administration. This is his funding proposal. We're agreeing with it. And they're like, we want more.
Yeah, they want to.
Because they're greedy bastards. That's why they always want more.
Extend the tax subsidies for the Obamacare
immigrants.
And illegal immigrants that they first put into place with the American Rescue Plan Act, and then extended with the Inflation Reduction Act, which, as they said, was the biggest climate change legislation in history.
It was the Green New Deal.
That's all it was.
That's all it was.
Isn't
the Green New Scam, you mean?
this whole thing a great opportunity for the churches? That right now,
if you really want to get the world in a greener place, you got to convince China to get on board and have a want for them to make the world better, to reduce their emissions, because China by far has the worst emissions out of any country anywhere on the globe.
All these people that have been reliant on SNAP for food, that the churches could position themselves to get people to show up. And I do wish right-wing America would think more in these terms. Well, some of these things might be hard to pull off. Every one of these things that happen, the government shutdown, the SNAP benefits being taken away temporarily, are massive opportunities to win at the grassroots level. And ultimately, the only way to win politically is to be strong enough at the grassroots level that you force the political class to respect you, because ultimately they only respond to money, power, and influence, and you have to have that to get them to do what you want them to do.
Go ahead.
So do you think that, so for the churches right now, so I have seen videos of churches getting more, people coming through for these types of things. Do you think there will be growth there?
I think there's an opportunity for it. And I have a megaphone right now, and I hope that pastors that are listening to and churches that are listening right now see this for the opportunity it is, because I think a lot of people have been trained to think that they can't do what seem to be incredible things, but you look what you guys have built here. I mean, this is incredible, honestly. And I've met a lot of people that have done really amazing things. I've done some pretty cool things. And with each one of, with everything that happens is a new opportunity. And if we could train people to see those opportunities, we can make some inroads at the grassroots level. And ultimately, that's how you win.
Yeah, I mean, I think in theory, what you're talking about is great. I just don't know that there's enough churches that are going to be that are kind of on the ball enough to be like, okay, let's jump on this opportunity.
Well, you have to be set up for that, and there's a lot of churches that are set up for that, and I think that there's a lot of churches that are engaged and helping in their communities.
You think that they have the capacity to
A church community can adapt to situation really, really quickly. There are many churches who all of a sudden you'll get just one or two people in there who are like, hey, there's this thing going on. There's a bunch of people who need help. What can we all do? Do we have resources we can pool? Do we have things we can go buy? We have things we can do? What do you have to give? And all of a sudden you'll have people coming out of the woodwork with like piles and maybe like blankets and stuff for people who need shelter and to warm up. Maybe there's food donations that come in from people. You got money donations so people can go buy the needed items and whatnot. Maybe people are donating different, shampoos, soaps, and different things like that to keep clean. And there's a lot that can happen real quick from a church family.
Fill the gap that the government has left. I don't, because that's
no,
kind of my point.
Filling the gap the government has left, that's like $41 trillion dollars. What is it? It's like $9 billion a month in
the church
benefits.
The church isn't trying to solve all the government's.
No, that they're not trying to solve all of it because they won't need to. There are definitely a good amount of fraud and waste on these benefit programs that definitely it's people who don't really need it and could get by without it. But they just choose to have it, and they choose to do that because, well, they got approved, so they can do it. They'll just feel a little on the light side for that time.
Problems they're trying to help,
No, but a lot of churches are set up with, food banks and things.
But even with just announcing a food drive, when people suddenly don't have access to the food they had access to, you get people to show up that day. And when they show up that day, you could have conversations with them and you could let them know what you do and let them know that, hey, we'll be doing this again next weekend. And if you show up and we'll feed you and we'll talk to you about our beliefs, and you'll find out that the people that you heard are these monsters are actually these really kind people. And then we could talk to you about why we have the views that we have. And I know that when you were in the school system, these views were framed as being monstrous, right? For example, feminism in the school system, they teach these kids that they don't want you to have abortions because there's a patriarchy and misogyny. And that's where you get all these celebrations from someone like Charlie Kirk getting shot, because the young people have been taught that people that hold these ideologies are filled with hate. And by getting in front of people and talking them face to face and helping them in their time of need, you could start to swing people that.
He's 100% right. Every single word that he said, every word that he spoke has been exactly true. There are so many people I've met growing up where me and my dad and my brothers, we all would volunteer at our church's food bank regularly. And we would, be there to prep baskets in times of need. I remember one year we did anybody in the community who wanted. It wasn't even just those who needed. It could have been anyone, even if they were a little well off. It didn't matter. We had enough money from the church, donated by the church and from people within it, because our church did a great thing where we remodeled, we upgraded it because we got bigger, and we did everything debt-free. And so we were able to give more to our communities. And in doing so, we actually provided Thanksgiving dinner for, I think it was like 4,500 people one year. It was insane. The amount of like meals and things were sent out. It was a lot of food.
You think you wouldn't be able to swing in your direction, but you'd be amazed what those face-to-face interactions could do. And if I could add one more thing, before the nanny state took over, before the government came in and said, we'll be daddy, when a woman gave birth out of wedlock, which was rarer, it was the churches and community groups that stepped in and took care of people. And if we ultimately want to get off this tax system, we have to start building the infrastructure that we could point to and show people and say, listen, if you abandon this nanny state, we have a safety blanket here for you. And then we could lower the taxes, then we could create opportunity, and I can show you hope. And I know you can, because I've showed a lot of people hope. And then you can take that hope and you can build a better life for you and your family.
Yeah, sure.
Man, that was just a spit and truth speech. Every single freaking word of it. It was phenomenal to know that there's other people out there who are just as intelligent and think just as sanely as I do. I love it.
I mean, I think that's a great idea. One of the problems that we have is that church attendance has been in such decline. Religion has been under attack, specifically Christianity has been under attack. And you have the Democrats have rather successfully put together a plan where the government will partner with an individual throughout their entire life. So it is important, I think, to make sure that the churches are robust and that these places of faith are strong. And I certainly applaud that. And I hope that, I hope that the religious community is taking heed of that. I'm not sure how we combat the Democrat messaging that has ruined God, has replaced the soul with gender, and has replaced family with government.
Yeah, I think you're right to the point where it's like getting those face-to-face interactions are key in a lot of ways. It's so much easier to reach a person when you talk to them face-to-face. Like when you're having those, you could have all the positive interactions with somebody online that won't speak to most people the same way that having somebody show to themselves to be a completely different human being than what they've been told they would be their whole lives by the school system, what that could do for those people.
Just a heads up, I just got a warning for a severe thunderstorm.
Oh, nice.
Power goes out. We have generators, but maybe the show just disappears. Maybe we go.
Maybe
home
nothing
early.
happened.
Maybe we play some video games.
Maybe the thunderstorm actually just jumps over us.
I would be stuck here for a while.
Well, it's only going to be like 15, 20 minutes.
good.
It's, it's just
passing through.
But we have backup power
You
generators.
have to entertain me somehow.
But I figured my phone just went off, and I was like, oh boy, look at that. So, who knows? Who knows? In the meantime, end all welfare benefits, end all subsidies, and abolish government, period.
Yeah, I love that. I don't understand exactly what the point of withholding SNAP benefits when the government shut down and they're not giving them out anyways.
What I don't get is why you would, some of these people you've seen the videos, there's now EBT of TikTok. Have you guys seen this?
Funny.
Which is great.
Yeah,
what was funny
they're
is
great.
Mike Cernovich posted someone.
And it's so funny that the EBTs of TikTok people, you got so many who are making videos, and some of them are even starting to make money off those videos to the point of if they make enough, they'll lose their EBT and their whole content is gone.
To do SNAP benefits of TikTok. And then 2 days later, there it was,
Yeah.
But the EBT of TikTok, you'll see people being like, I've been on these benefits for 30 years. This is how I feed my 6 kids.
Yep.
I don't have a job because I have 6 kids. And I'm thinking if you have put your ability to be sustained in the hands of government, don't be surprised when the government starves you.
Yeah.
Why are you giving someone else control over?
Well, it's so crazy to give someone else control over how you eat, where you live, how you work, what you do. Oh, wait, that's communism. That you enjoy yourselves, New York.
Whether you eat or not. That is insane.
Well, if they riot, maybe they actually haven't given control to anyone. Maybe they actually are the ones that have the control.
Yeah.
You have enough people. It's like when, if you owe the bank $100,000, that's your problem. If you owe the bank $1 billion, that's the bank's problem. It's kind of the same thing. Like if you have one person that the government is paying for their SNAP benefits and you turn it off, that's that person's problem. When you have 40 million people and you turn off the SNAP benefits, that's the government's problem.
It's $9 billion a month. I think that I doubt I was the only person who was surprised that
$9 billion?
$9 billion a month. I was surprised that it was that much.
$108
that many people
billion
who are
a year.
collecting these benefits and don't have
$108 billion a year of your taxpayer dollars goes to feeding fat fucks who are on SNAP benefits, because I have literally not seen a single one of these SNAP benefit food people that are not absolutely overweight, obese, to the point of I'm more worried about them having health problems related to how much they eat rather than them going hungry.
jobs, and don't work. I mean, everyone I've known who's been on food assistance, it's always been either they're between jobs or their job just isn't enough and they're looking for more work or something like that, but they're always hustling.
And like I've said many times, earlier this year when I broke my leg, I tried to get on those SNAP benefits myself because I was immobile for 6 straight weeks and I was still off work for about 2 more months beyond that. I was off work for 3.5 months straight to where I couldn't make a single cent, and I still have yet at this point, it has been from April 30th. Today is November 7th. And from this whole time, I have not received $1 of pain and suffering money, of lost wages, of anything along that line to get anything there. I'm still waiting on people. I'm fighting with people to get my medical bills covered. And so it's like, without it, I got $90,000, almost $100,000 in medical bills because I have more appointments coming up still to fix some things. I've got, no income coming in. I've got just a small amount of savings that I have basically dwindled down due to them denying me food stamps. And it was like, what else am I gonna do? I can't physically fucking stand to work. I couldn't do anything at the beginning, and they denied me. And now we're at the point where people are doing food stamps hauls on TikTok, and they're bringing in a mountain of groceries in because I gotta feed my kids. Like, you didn't have to have the kids in the first place. You had sex, and sex results in kids sometimes. Whoopsie. Yeah, fun fact a little there, you whore. Close your legs, and you won't have unfeedable kids. And then, I see beyond that, it's all these people on TikTok that are obese, and they're getting food stamps, and they're like, I don't work at all. I don't do anything except take care of my kids, get a housing voucher, and food stamps. And it's like, oh, so you're fully taken care of by everything, and you don't do a damn thing, you lazy asshole. So I think, personally, all the benefits should just be wiped. There shouldn't be any reliance on the government. Taxes would be able to be a lot lower, or, we could just have a much stronger military. But I just think the first option of a lot lower taxes would be way better. And then even then, we could push more and do more.
They're always like trying to better their lives and grateful that there's assistance temporarily available. It's not like, I've never considered it as something that's like a lifestyle choice where you're just going to be
on it forever. Yeah, no.
That way for your entire.
I think there should be a maximum amount of time for each individual in their lifetime of being on government food assistance, to where you can't go get food assistance anymore. You have to go to the church. And so once, you're going to the church and they're discovering, oh, you were on food assistance, but you maxed out your time, they know you're just lazy in using them.
Life. It was like, what, 12% of them?
I'm not saying to let people starve. I'm just saying to let people be more informed that they can't just rely on the government forever.
Americans are on SNAP benefits. It's like 40 million or something like that.
Yep,
that's a lot.
It's about 40 million.
Yeah.
Back in 2020, when COVID was going on, I saw that they tried to leverage debt and food over people. Mm-hmm. And
you mean like with the student loans and stuff?
Well, people had to pay their mortgage.
Well, I mean, think about it. You had people getting more benefits due to COVID and things getting money because it was shut down. And then they took the student loan rates and they dropped them all to zero, so you didn't have interest on your student loans. And yet there are people who just went, oh, and they quit paying everything and let everything just continue to sit as a balance until the interest started accruing again. And then, I still don't owe, my payment's still at zero. And then they just let that interest rack back up. And now they've probably erased a few months' worth of payments with the interest that racked it back up.
So when you tell someone that their job is unessential and they have a mortgage and they could lose their...
Oh, the essential work was also bullshit too. I worked fucking McDonald's at the time, and that was labeled an essential business. And it's like, oh, fast food is essential? Then literally everything is essential. Like, daycare's essential. Grocery store employees are essential. The gas station employees are essential. The fast food workers are essential. Bowling alley people are essential. It's like everybody's essential. Entertainment studios, going to a theme park, that's all essential. If fucking fast food is essential, that was the biggest bullshit lie we were told at the start of COVID was, oh, essential workers get to remain open and everyone else is going to close. Because if that were fucking true, McDonald's and Burger King and all the fast food joints around the nation would have been asked to close. So I don't want to hear any of that, but the essential workers bullshit. Like, no. everybody is essential.
Their home, well, to them, that's very essential. And then people had to go to the grocery store to get food. So they said that if you want to come to this grocery store, you have to wear a mask. And my response to that was I sold my home on Long Island, where my family was from, and I moved my family, my children, across the country, my wife, my children, and we moved into a forest, and we started a homestead, and we did it all with no debt. And we started growing our own food. I've made an orchard since then. I have a big garden.
You have an orchard?
Yeah, built it
That's
myself.
awesome.
I love that. That is such a cool thing. He's got his own trees. He grows his own food. His kids are taught how to survive on the, without help from anybody else.
And the reason I did that is I saw that the government tries to or can leverage control over you through food dependence and through debt. So the response was, let's not have debt and let's make sure we're not dependent on them for food. And this could be done on a much larger level, but it has to be done through culture. And everyone in America has front yards. Well, instead of front yards with grass, let's normalize front yards with gardens. And through every step of the way,
Victory garden.
like the Victory Garden. And through every step of the way, when you do these things, you grow more powerful. And as you become less dependent, you become more independent. And as you become more independent, they have to respect what you say more, and your vote and your voice starts to mean more. And all of these things can be done. People just need a little shift in how they view the world.
Man, I love how this guy talks. This guy is amazing. He's everything he says it with just this ability and knowledge behind it. It's not just saying things to say buzzwords like the Democrats do. He actually speaks from the fucking heart. I can tell.
Well, that type of the idea of the rugged American individualism is kind of lost these days.
You should.
And it's like his life is not for everyone. The homesteading life is not something that is compatible with every single individual. Like for me, I would be very much better off maybe not in a busy city, but maybe on like the outskirts of one, to where I still have everybody close by, but I still have the, as he called them, reliances on government and services. But at that point, I'm just saying, I'm just more part of a little grouping together. I like having conversations with people. I like meeting new people. I like having friends around. Being the homesteader, yeah, you can still have friends, but now you've got to come so much further out, because traditionally that's what the homesteads are. They're a little farther out. They're in the forest. They're up a ways on a piece of property.
See my students.
I mean, I understand what you're saying, and I do think that Brett's got a point. Like the idea of rugged individualism, the idea that people can go out and do things, that is becoming further and further, or becoming more and more rare. People look to government, people look to someone else to provide for them, whether that be, having the mindset of having a job, or the mindset of looking to government for some kind of support or whatever. It takes a special kind of person to say, I'm going to go out and do something.
It's not a lot of people.
What?
That's not a lot of people.
No, it's not a lot of people.
Not a huge percent of the population.
No, it's not at all. And it takes, like I said earlier, it takes a type of personality to do that. And if you don't have a society that fosters those people and tries to encourage them, which I don't think we do anymore.
No, they don't.
Then
no, not at all.
Even more infrequent and even more rare. And I would love to see the people that do go out and put the effort into do that. I would love to see them succeed and have become millionaires or billionaires and what have you. But I think the without that kind of mindset being held in high esteem, we're going to continue to have fewer and fewer people that will actually go out there and try to be entrepreneurs.
There are people that believe that that's becoming more common in Gen Z as first of all,
everybody in Gen Z has, got that mentality of I'm going to be the entrepreneur who starts my own business and does something, and then everybody's trying the same basic set of things. They're all doing drop shipping. They all are starting t-shirt companies. They're all doing the exact same set of things, overflooding all those markets because they listened to somebody who said it was a good idea at some point. And maybe for a handful of them it was. But you're not gonna be the next American Eagle selling Sydney Sweeney ads with record sales for your jeans. You're not going to be dipping numbers like that. But you're also not going to Bud Light yourself and get someone who tanks your reputation, because obviously you're going to be smarter about your company. Hopefully you will, anyway.
Typical job economy is gone. It's gig economy. Kids want to be influencers.
Yep, everybody wants to have a thing.
Which is in line with that idea, maybe not in the same realm of like building your own orchard, but being your own boss, creating your own content, being the person who gets yourself, ad reads and paychecks and things like that, and not relying on a boss. But that's out of a sense of necessity, because a job.
And well, if you're choosing that influencer thing, then all of a sudden, instead of having a boss, you have a million bosses or an infinite amount of bosses, because now instead of pleasing one person, you're trying to please an audience.
Isn't going to provide for them the way that they feel like they can if they're going out and betting on themselves. So there is the possibility that down the line, perhaps that becomes more common, just not in a more traditional sense.
Well, the other thing is that people haven't been having enough children for generations. And although we can't reach everyone, for example, you have Timcast and you have the people that are watching right now. Well, these are good people. These are smart people. These are awake people. And to convince those people that you can reject the materialistic life, because if you ever go to a nursing home, I've never been to a nursing home, spoken to an old person, they told me about how nice their bag was or how nice their car was. They talk about their children. They talk about their grandchildren. And by showing people that and convincing them to have more kids themselves and to raise their kids right, you could actually start to have this culture that brews from the grassroots level of young people who start to see their power. And with that, you get lots of people who don't feel dependent on the system, and that culture starts to grow, it seeds, and we have the ability to do that, and I think we will.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Tim.
All right. That was another fantastic Timcast, Tim Pool video. I loved it. It was good enough for me today. I'll have one more video coming later tonight, as always. Hit that like button down below if you didn't already. Smash the subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to get notified every time I upload. It's twice a day, every day. And have a wonderful day. See you later.